Why is it that jet lag gets so much worse when you're older? Hi everyone, it's Tasha and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are going to be making bubble croffles. Now I say bubble croffle, it's going to be a bubble waffle croissant. A croffle is when you cook raw croissant dough that has been already shaped into a croissant shape in a waffle iron. Croffle. And as you probably guessed by now, a bubble croffle is one that's been cooked in a bubble waffle iron. Why am I doing it in a bubble waffle iron in particular? Well, it's because it's the only kind of waffle iron I have. A friend of mine very kindly gifted it to me a couple of years ago. And since a bubble waffle iron is no different from a regular waffle iron apart from the actual shape of the waffle itself, I thought it's bound to work, right? I hope so. But of course, if you have a regular waffle iron and not a bubble waffle iron, feel free to use that. It will work exactly the same way. Now I fully intended to make these bubble croffles after I landed, maybe a couple of days, then I'd be able to film and edit for the Wednesday ahead, because you know I publish a recipe like this every Wednesday. And even though this recipe is so quick and easy, literally from start to finish it takes about 3 minutes, I know myself and I know I'm going to land on the Wednesday early in the morning and then I'm going to be completely crashed for the next few days. So to give myself one more week of rest and a bit of leeway, I'm filming this now. I mean, this recipe is super easy to make even when jet lagged, but don't forget I have to film it, I have to edit it, and I have to edit a lot because I trip over my words a lot. When you see this preamble part, you can skip by the way, there are timestamps. You are watching hours worth of me cutting out all my preamble because I fall over my words, I'm not a good speaker. And then of course I have to write up the recipe on my blog, I have to write it up for Instagram and for YouTube and for TikTok, I have to schedule everything, and yeah, it's work. Work that I enjoy and that I don't get paid for at the moment, and not something I want to do when I feel like a zombie. So we're doing this now. Like I said, this takes literally minutes. Don't worry, we are not making the croissant dough, otherwise it would literally take days. So with all of that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. So we're making bubble croffles, right? So we're going to need a bubble waffle iron, and I have one here, as you can see, bubble waffle shaped. You can, as I mentioned, use a regular waffle iron and just make regular croffles, but this is the only waffle-ish iron I have, and it happens to be a bubble waffle iron. Works exactly the same, just a different shape. Let's close this up for the second because we're going to preheat it. And this one I believe turns green when it is ready. So let's wait till it's ready. In the meantime, I have 2 ready to bake croissants here. I bought these from Marks & Spencer's. They're the kind that you find in the frozen section, and it's basically raw pre-shaped dough that you shove in the oven and then you bake yourself some kind of fresh croissants, and I really like them. And these are all butter, by the way. You can use the just roll ones, you know, the one where you twist the cardboard tube and you have to roll it up yourself. I don't really like those ones because it doesn't have butter in it and doesn't taste quite the same. But if you are vegan or you're not having dairy for whatever reason, you can use just roll because they are accidentally vegan, so they are perfectly fine to use. But I'm going to use the frozen ready to bake type that is all butter. I also have 100 grams of caster sugar here. And because my bubble waffle iron is quite small, then I am going to do them one at a time. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this generously in my caster sugar. You can use the slightly chunkier granulated sugar. Some people use demerara sugar as well, which gives even more of a caramelized crunch because, you know, the sugar bits are a little bit chunkier. I would actually quite like that, but I couldn't justify buying a whole bag of demerara sugar just to make these. So caster sugar will do. By the way, nearly forgot to mention, this has been defrosted. Remember I said I'm using the frozen ready to bake dough? Defrost them first, just leave them out on the counter for like maybe half an hour for good measure. I want it completely defrosted. Anyway, we're giving it a good roll, a good coating in that caster sugar, and this is ready to go. So, as I suspected, the light turned green when it is ready to cook, when it's hot enough to cook. So, I'm just going to open this, and before I do anything, I'm going to give it a quick oil. So this is a little bit of vegetable oil. I'm going to spread it around. Actually, that's quite a lot, so don't worry if you do that. Just use some kitchen towel to mop up the excess. Don't touch it with your bare hands, by the way, because it's very hot. If you're worried, then grab your paper with a few chopsticks, with a couple of chopsticks, so you don't have to touch it with your hands and you don't have to worry about getting in contact with the hot oil. Anyway, long story short, be careful. We're going to grab our well-sugared croissant, slap it in there, and we're going to gently press this down. And this will only take about a minute until it's ready. Once you've pressed it down, do let go of it, by the way, you don't have to stand there pressing it down. This is what it's looking like from the side, by the way. It's not very well lit, I apologise for that. Now it's actually been exactly 2 minutes and the green light has gone off, so let's unveil what we have here. Oh, it smells amazing. Oh my gosh, look at that. That looks divine. Unfortunately we've lost a little bit of caramel here. Let's get it onto the sides. There we go. And I am going to rescue this. Now I am going to use chopsticks because this is far too hot. And I'm going to put it on a non-stick paper lined baking tray because we don't want the caramel to stick. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try it this side down. That's the downside of having an open and close flippy one like this, because one side's going to be a bit flatter. But don't worry, all will be fine. So let's cook this for another 2 minutes. And then that's our 2 bubble croffles done. And yes, you do have to press it down quite well. Don't do it immediately, just slowly press it down until it's more or less flat-ish. And then let go, don't worry, relax. Now over here we do have quite a lot of leftover sugar. I intentionally used too much because better too much than too little. I'm just going to use this to make a simple sugar syrup for coffee and cocktails. And I'm just going to weigh how much this is. And then however many grams this is, I'm going to boil it with an equal amount of millilitres of water for 3 minutes. That's your simple syrup done for coffees, etc. Also, the second time round is actually taking a little bit longer to cook. I think it will probably take another 30 seconds. It depends from croissant to croissant how long it is. I find this when making normal bubble waffles with this machine as well. It will depend on your machine too. In between batches it might take a bit longer, a bit less long, so just keep an eye on it, eyeball it. Just as I said that, the green light went off, so we are done. In fact, I'm going to turn this off now because we're only doing 2 this time round. Lift it up. Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. And you can see how this one's deflated too. Don't worry, that is absolutely normal. Let's take this one off. Oops. Lift it off, put it on our non-stick tray, and just let it cool for a minute or 2 just so it's not horrendously hot when you eat it. Look at how shiny and glossy that is. Absolutely beautiful. That's the crisp caramel on top. Listen. Oh, beautiful. Now I did do the usual slow-mo, but I actually prefer it full speed with sound. Listen to the crunch. I'm super chuffed with that. It is super glossy. Look at the other side as well. Whoops. Of course the other side's a bit flatter because that's the side we placed it down on the baking tray to cool. I'm going to take a bite right now, so cheers. This is now officially the only way I ever want to eat ready-to-bake croissants. It's the perfect combination of buttery, flaky, but soft and fluffy and crunchy on the outside. Oh my gosh. So there you go, bubble croffles. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram, I'm tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too, I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you'd like to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I'll see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. And today, what's it with all the car alarms today? And all the beeping, very angry people out there.